Here is the insanely ambitious stack. It's really hot in here. Is it just me? Is it really hot? It's like
Broadcasting live, the ABC studio, with your anchor, Charlotte Zhang.
Hey everyone, it's me, Charlotte. Welcome back to Sip of Latte. It's been a while. I think the last time I posted a video must have been around like 2 or 3 years ago at this point. So I apologize for the hiatus. Just to fill you in on everything that's been going on in my life. I've been really active on Bookstagram still, so make sure to follow me on that if you haven't already. I regularly post a lot of book reviews on there. The reason I'm giving BookTube another shot is because a few of my friends on Bookstagram have decided to dip their toes into the BookTube sphere, and so I wanted to follow them. I was thinking a lot about BookTube and what I liked about it, and I was thinking about some of my favorite booktubers, like what I like to watch on BookTube, and I realized a lot of what I enjoyed watching were just reading vlogs, videos that were really comforting and just felt like talking to a friend, you know? And so I decided to ease off the pressure on myself a little bit because I think that was a really big obstacle to why I was hesitant to come back. So I'm going back to basics. I'm going to just start off with this reading vlog. Today is March 20th. It is a Monday, and it's also the start of spring break for me. So I'm going to take you along with me throughout this week as I try to read as much for fun as possible. A little bit about where I am in life right now and what I've been up to in the past 2 years. I currently live in New York State, and I'm attending a master's program in comparative literature. Because of that, a lot of my reading is swamped with school readings, and so I haven't really had the time or the energy really to read things that I personally want to read. But this year, 2023, I'm trying to make a very intentional effort to read things that make me happy and things that I want to read. I'm also trying really hard to inject a little bit more creativity into my life. I'm trying to write a lot more, want to try different creative projects like BookTube again, because I really did enjoy it when I was doing it. Without further ado, let's talk about some books that I've been reading. Okay, so I have been doing a buddy read of this book, Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca Equiasi, with 2 of my friends on Bookstagram. One of them actually has just started BookTube, so you should definitely check her out. Her name is Cat's Field Notes, and the other friend that I'm doing this buddy read with is Shan the Reader. She's only on Bookstagram right now, but you should definitely follow her as well. I love both of them to death, and it was so fun getting to read this book together. If you haven't read a book with a friend before, I really highly recommend it. Bookstagram is a great place to find people to read books together. Even if it is virtually, it's so fun to have a community to share your experience with. A little bit more about Butter Honey Pig Bread. It follows this family of 3, a mother and her 2 twin daughters, Taye and Kehinde, and they're from Nigeria, and so some of the book is set in Nigeria, but they also emigrate to other places as well, so we get to see a little bit about that. This book deals heavily with themes of trauma and forgiveness and bonding over food. There's so much food descriptions in here, and all of the writing is just so lush. I finished that one yesterday, and then I was just kind of browsing my bookshelf without really intending to choose anything in particular, but I ended up picking up this book, Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach, I think. This book was adapted from a Reddit no sleep story that came out years ago. What's wild is that I actually first read the original no sleep stories online when I was maybe 13 or something, and I had actually followed them as they were coming out, I think. I was just completely enthralled and obsessed with this story. For those of you who don't know how Reddit no sleep works, it's essentially an online forum where everyone who posts acts as if the things they're writing about are really actually happening. And then the commenters also have to play along with this essentially. And so this creates this really cool dynamic of story writer and story reader that's really original, I think, and very exciting. There's a lot more talking back and forth and almost this joint creation of these stories. The serial format of the way No Sleep works, I think, lends itself really well to this dynamic of everything being a true story. So Pen Pal comes from that wonderful lineage, and it was really fun reading it the first time around, and so I just kind of got into this last night and I'm already 130 pages in, so a little over halfway. The plan for today is I want to finish off Pen Pal and then a couple other books that I also am currently reading. Let me get them. Okay, here is the insanely ambitious stack for my spring break hopefuls. First on the stack, besides Pen Pal, is A Wild Sheep Chase by Haruki Murakami. I'm reading this book for Murakami's Jazz Club, which is a jazz club. No, it's not a jazz club. It's a book club that I'm hosting where we're reading Murakami's work in chronological order as well as other Japanese literature. But in the future, I'll probably post the whole video just explaining what that club is and what we do. But until then, this is the book for March. The next book I'm reading is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I'm doing this as a buddy read as well with the gold jar on Bookstagram. For her, it's going to be a reread, and for me, it's going to be my first time. And so I've heard a lot about this book, of course. It's everywhere online in the book social media sphere. So I'm very well aware of the millions of trigger warnings that this has. I actually have started it. I'm about 26 pages in. So far it's been good, a slow burn for sure, but I'm excited for where this goes. The last book on my list for this week is Daughter of Earth by Agnes Medley. So this is another book for my class. I will talk about this class in the future at some point, but this one's a bit of a chunker, but the pages are smaller, so hopefully I can get through this. I don't really know what to expect from this one, but we'll see. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday now, and last night I finished Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach, so I wanted to give you a little update on it and my initial quick thoughts. I tried to film a few clips about my thoughts last night, but wasn't able to.
Why weren't you able to? I feel like they're gonna be asking about that.
Someone made it very difficult for me to film last night. Hi, it's been a few hours now.
Since when?
I filmed a video clip, but in the meantime, I kind of just want to chit-chat about it. Anyway, so Pen Pal, as I mentioned yesterday, is a book that actually originated on an online forum called Reddit No Sleep. This book was published, I think it was self-published actually by the author himself in 2012. So that was 11 years ago now. So I actually still do remember a lot of what happened. Still do remember. I still remember a lot of what happened, but I don't get scared by books very easily.
Boo.
I like horror movies. I generally like that genre overall, and so because of that, I think I'm a bit desensitized to a lot of horror. But I will say this book is definitely very creepy. It's formatted in a way where each chapter is kind of a fragment of our narrator, who's unnamed, his past, and he's trying to piece together this puzzle of what exactly happened. And he's piecing this together through his memories of his childhood as well as his mom's stories about what happened. We figure out pretty quickly early on that the narrator is being stalked, and this is happening all when he's in kindergarten and first grade, and so it's like in his youth basically. The writing is really simple, so I think this is a really good book for someone who, if you're like in a reading slump or something, or just want something thrilling, then definitely this. There are not really any supernatural elements, so if you don't like that as a theme, then this one is still really good for you. So that's Pen Pal. I also made a bit of a headway into A Wild Sheep Chase by Haruki Murakami. I'm about 70 pages in. This book is the third book that Murakami ever wrote, and so he's still a newer author, but compared to his first two books, this one is definitely, you see a lot more of his style shining through. The chapters are all really short, which I've been appreciating a lot because it helps to push the narrative along. And also, this is the third book in the what's called unofficially the Rat cycle, or the Rat series, and so we're following the same two narrators, or the same two characters that we saw in the first two of his books, Pinball 1973 and Hear the Wind Sing. Other updates. So today we went to the botanical gardens, which was really nice, and then we had donuts. So it's been a good day so far, and my plan for the rest of the day is get through as much of A Wild Sheep Chase as I can, and then maybe I'll start reading one of these other three books too, but we'll see.